We're going to talk a little bit about why nurses are scared to talk about their pay and why it needs to change. But before we go into that, I want to ask a question. I want to ask you something. Why is it easier for us as nurses to talk about burnout? We talk about trauma, we talk about stress, abuse, but the moment that, money or pay comes up, the room gets very quiet. I've noticed that this is something that happens a lot in nursing, and I want to talk about it today because there's so many nurses that are scared to talk about their pay rates while working and what the silence is really costing us. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in to Think Nursing. My name is Stacey. I'm a nurse, and I talk about real life nursing. And we talk about the money, the burnout, the career moves, and the things that nobody really prepares you for as a nurse. And this topic about money, yes, it's uncomfortable, but it's necessary, I must say. I know a lot of CRNAs out there, they don't have any problems with doing that because you'll see it, scattered or plastered over the internet. But one of the biggest reasons I feel as though a lot of nurses avoid the conversation about pay is fear. Many nurses believe that if they do discuss it, they will be fired, written up, or even labeled as unprofessional if they're discussing their salary at work. Some hospitals imply it's against policy. Other hospitals don't really say it aloud, but the culture makes you feel as though you're doing something wrong if you discuss it. But the truth is that a lot of nurses don't want to rock the boat, especially if you're on probation, if you're a new grad, if you are an international nurse. A lot of us are just saying, oh, I'm just trying to survive. Or persons will say, you're trying to survive, so we don't talk about it. We don't ask the question. Another thing is when you talk about comparison, a lot of times that can bring some form of discomfort. And let's just be honest, if you talk about your pay, sometimes it can hurt you because imagine finding out the nurse you're precepting is making more money than you, or the travel nurse beside you is making double your hourly rate. That can be a problem. It can bring jealousy, some form of resentment and self-doubt for others. And instead of addressing the system, a lot of times we turn it inward. So some nurses rather stay silent and face that discomfort rather than asking the questions. Another thing that you hear a lot of time is that nursing is built on selflessness. Nursing is framed as a calling, and so in nursing school you're taught that you don't do it for the money. The patients come first. You must be grateful that you have a job. So when nurses talk about their pay, it's often seen as being greedy or ungrateful. But I want us to just be clear here, because being passionate about something, being passionate about nursing and wanting a fair pay can exist at the same time. Bills don't disappear just because you love your job. Bills are still going to be there. So, fair pay is very, very important for nurses too. Healthcare is very hierarchical. Administrators and executives often discuss their pay a little bit more open than the bedside nurses. We're expected to basically just accept what is being given. When you don't know what others are making, for example, you realize that it's easier for organizations to underpay you, offer inconsistent raises, and justify wage gap. So silence protects the system, not the nurses. And so hence why they have a contract where they say, okay, then you don't talk about it. Another thing that is very important is when you talk about international nurses, immigrant nurses, and minority nurses, a lot of times they often feel the pressure of staying quiet. There's a fear of being seen as difficult, losing sponsorship or opportunities, or being told that you should just be grateful to be here. And that fear keeps nurses underpaid for years, even without realizing it. Why is the silence, though, a problem? Is because when nurses don't talk about, their pay, you have new grads now that, don't know what to negotiate. They just accept anything that is being offered. Experienced nurses stay underpaid, continue wage gap, and you have the burnout that increases. Money stress affects your mental health, satisfaction, as well as retention in those hospitals. And then a lot of times persons are wondering why nurses are leaving. So talking about your pay isn't about complaining. It is about advocating, because it's how nurses learn their worth. It is how we protect each other as nurses, and it is how we stop normalizing being overworked and underpaid. I'm not saying you're going to go out there and announce to the entire world your salary, but we should be feeling safe enough to have that honest conversations without feeling fearful. That's just how I feel. So if you're a nurse out there and you're feeling as though, it's uncomfortable, you felt uncomfortable talking about your pay as a nurse, just remember that you're not alone. It is something that happens to like almost every nurse that is out there. I wanted to go ahead though and drop a comment and tell me what you think about nurses. Are they supposed to go ahead and talk about their pay a little bit more open, or do you feel as though this will cause problems? But yeah, just go ahead and leave your comment down below. And if you find this video interesting, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, a like, a share, favorite, repost it, and most importantly, subscribe to my YouTube page at ThinkNursing and follow me on TikTok at ThinkNursing, where I share content related to nursing, travel, and lifestyle. Until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye.